what do you need improvement in?
Just want to go through and win.
What is the purpose of overthinking? You're taking care of your loved one. That's how you can increase your sales.
Hello, everybody. This is Ferris.
This is Caleb Lenore, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Homecare Guys.
Man, Caleb, we have an amazing episode today, brother. We're going to be talking about the things that you should never change. And this is going to be a very interesting conversation, man.
Oh, I got my notes here. I'm so ready for this one.
Well, hey, man, before we get started, man, how's everything coming along?
Oh, man, everything is coming along amazing. We got a lot of, we always having projects going on right now in Prime Care. And so we're actually getting our roof repaired.
Yep.
And I'm so happy fast we completed the event space.
Yes.
And we're getting ready to do a renovation of our bathrooms and our restrooms. And so we're excited, man. Prime Care just growing like wildfire. We're just excited for the next few months.
Exactly, man. We're getting a facelift. So
yeah,
a lot of things are going on, man. So the Prime Care, I know we just worked on another project that we had outside of Prime Care.
Yep.
It's going to be an Airbnb project. So that's going to be super exciting.
Yes. So we're excited about that. You know, we're out here just pretty much kind of just enjoying life and enjoying just like those new challenges and opportunities that come. I love our facelift. I wish we had pictures of the exterior of the building.
Yeah.
Man, the stonework looks amazing, as well as our columns. Our columns look beautiful. And so we're excited about the trajectory where we're going.
Exactly. And I think that right there goes with Caleb, like innovative thinkers, that entrepreneurially driven, that love to go through and continue to go through. They're driven to do things and continue to go through and actually change and evolve. That's our comfort zone. Right. That's our comfort zone. And I think a lot of times when this is part of the conversation we're going to get into, bro. Like, this is like, why not? Let's go and jump into
I don't want to jump into it right now. I want to talk about how was your experience in Dallas? Like, I know we went to Dallas recently. We just came from San Antonio, so we talked about San Antonio. Yeah. But how was your experience in Dallas?
Man, Dallas was eye-opening.
Right.
It was eye-opening to the point to realize that the things that we're doing here at Prime Care, we're building things on a solid foundation. And I was so proud to just kind of look upon a different team and got a chance to see some new things that we're going to be doing as well, and some partnerships that we're going to be having down the road as well. But it made I felt like a proud pop. I'm like, man, we have a really good team back home.
Yeah, one thing I like is just kind of it opened a lot of doors for me. Really, just kind of seeing the opportunity in healthcare. Yeah. I think that when we initially started Healthcare Fairs, we never thought about that our healthcare business could grow this much, and then going to Dallas and really kind of seeing the other avenues and other subsidiary ecosystem that you can create. In healthcare is just like, wow, it was so mind-boggling. So now I'm realizing I'm really taking the limits off of everything regarding healthcare, because I think we're truly just beginning. We're truly just beginning our journey.
And Caleb, one thing I see is like, we're going to be able to serve even more people. I know a lot of times, like right now with Prime Care, currently we've been our main focus have been individuals that are personal support services, people that are actually utilizing structured family caregiving, a lot of Medicaid-based services. Right. But one thing I'm excited about our next phase is going to go and open up the doors for other people that it may not be on Medicaid, they may not have Medicare, but they may have insurances and things of that sort. But they need some services. So I am super excited. So guys, be on the lookout as soon as we get the clear to close per se, or the clear to open up the doors. We're going to be actually putting a special announcement out on where we're taking Prime Care to the next level. And again, we're going to be looking for a lot of registered nurses, a lot of skilled nursing personnel. So we're going to put the word out there later on. But definitely, if you're interested in just finding out more, especially if you're a skilled nurse, definitely hit us up in the inbox. We'll chat more.
It sounds like a plan. Well, let's dive into our conversation. So our conversation is things you should never change. And so I think that goes back down to fairs like your character. Like sometimes, you have to know who you are.
Yes.
And I think that in life, we're always we're still figuring out who we are. But in the root of it, we know who we are. And I know the type of person I am. I'm a really go-getter. I'm a goal-oriented person. If someone says I can't do it, I'm going to bet all of my might that I can do it. So I'm going to prove them wrong. I am a talkative person. I know I know who I am. Ferris, what type of person are you?
I'm a very driven person. Okay. I'm very independent. I'm a thorough person. And so I think those are the things right there that's really, it really defines who I am. And Caleb, to take a couple steps back so we can actually let our audience know where we're coming from is, so over, oh gosh, we were in San Antonio.
So that was what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We got a chance to go through and actually go to our home care mastermind. But before we went to our home care mastermind, we took a survey called the Predictive Index.
Yes.
And the Predictive Index is a personality assessment. It's a very short personality assessment, but it is really detailed and really to the point. And I really believe it hit both of our personalities right on. But what it does is it allows us to understand how to communicate with the receiver,
with others.
So knowing your personality, how can I go through and actually communicate with you? Knowing my personality, how can you communicate with me? How can we lead? How can we follow? Like, these are things that I think it's going to just make communication even better.
And with that predictive index, I was really amazed how it just captured me as a person.
Yeah.
It was like the most simplest survey, but they really, really detailed me. And I was actually our mastermind coach, Steve, and myself, we have pretty much kind of like the same personality. And so it's so ironic how he has, he's the leader of his organization and has been for many years. I was previous the leader of our organization with Prime Care, and how our personalities, just like our charts were like the same. Exactly. If I could show you a chart, I don't know if you can really see it. We took so much notes, but our charts was just identical. And so we're going to talk about these extremes. I want to dive into like some of our extremes. And so the person that I became was I'm a captain.
Yes.
And so with the captain, I can kind of read like with the first on this graph was it says this: do you like to collaborate or let me drive the ship? And I'm more so on let me drive the ship. I love collaboration, but more so my personality is you give it to me, I can really work it, I can operate it. And so that's something that is great. And as a characteristic, even though mine is extreme, let me drive the ship, there are some good things about let me drive the ship. And then there's some not so good things about it.
Exactly.
And so what we learned in our training was learning how to be aware of when those not so things become the major force, because you don't want that. You want to always have the good thing. And so with leading the business, with making decisions, with starting a new program, you want someone with the let me drive the ship mentality on that. Collaboration is great, but you want somebody to say, we're going to have it done in the next 2 weeks. Let me drive the ship. I got it.
Exactly. Yeah. And one thing, I'm gonna take a couple steps back as well, because both Caleb and I, our personality came up as captain personalities.
Right.
So I'm going to go through and actually read what a captain is and some of the needs as well. So a captain is a problem solver who likes change and innovation while controlling the big picture. And so I would venture to say that a lot of entrepreneurs are maybe captains, right? Especially those ones that are driven, again, who likes change. It kind of, when I read this initially, Caleb, I kind of thought about back in the day when we were getting started, and it was just a forever changing with our organization.
Oh,
but we liked it because that was our person, and it makes more sense now. That's our personality. Some people, if you come in and the office is turned around or in different spaces,
it can't function.
It can't function. And I realized that was our personality. It made us feel comfortable, but it may have, we were probably extreme then.
It did. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, Ferris. I did not know how changing a room or changing an environment could affect people.
Yes.
Like it was so we would go in overnight, change it. We would change people in different roles. It was just it was crazy.
We thought we were just doing it for our intentions was to do it because for the betterment of the organization.
And in actuality, it really kind of hurt it.
Yeah. Because it
hurt the morale. It hurt a lot.
Exactly, because some of the needs for a captain is we need independence, need connection with others, need variety and change, and need flexibility. That's just the personality style of the personality test that we just took. Right. Our personality. And so we do, and I looked at it and everything. We have I'm kind of moderate. You have some extremes in some areas.
I'm like, boom, boom. And
I'm like right here in the middle.
Ferris is right here in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah. But what happens is once you become aware of your style, your personality, these are things that you don't want to change. No. You just want to get better at becoming the best person you can be.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Yep.
And so my first one was more so let me drive the ship. Where were you, Ferris? Were you in the middle or were you on more collaborative side?
So I was in the middle. I was a little bit more on the independent side.
Okay.
But I was kind of in right near. It wasn't anything extreme.
Do you have a family member that you're living in the home with that you're providing full-time care for? You do? Hi, my name is Rashonda Butts, and I'm one of the health coaches here at Prime Care Home Care. For that family member, you may be able to receive expert health coaching from myself and possibly a weekly stipend. That's right, you heard it, possibly a weekly stipend. There's some qualifications, but I don't mind sharing them with you. If you would give me a call at 478-387-8419, I'll be glad to explain everything to you. Give me a call and come join the team.
Being a CEO, you can't be all the way over here, all the way to you can't have too many extremes, because what's going to happen is those extremes are going to really go through and push people out. It's going to attract people. It's going to go through and push people out as well. Right. And so one thing I realized that, okay, well, though I may have a little bit of independence, collaboration is important as well. So that's how I took it, as like, okay, well, I can kind of sway to the left or to the right without it actually being outside my natural habitat.
Yeah, without ruffling feathers. And I think that, well, I guess that's why I'm not the CEO anymore. But I do feel that, especially when it comes down to extremes, you want those people with extremes personalities and extremes interests to be like, in different, like, especially with me, I think my next bullet was my extroversion part. So my extroversion was, do I like to talk it out or let me think it through it? And I'm not a think through person. I'm a reactionary person, which is can be bad and can be good in a way, but I'm more so, I would like to talk it out. So I'm very talkative. I'm an extrovert. I like talking to people. I like building relationships. And so me as a person, yes, I could be a great CEO or a great person, but I would be even more great marketer because that's my natural personality. And so what this index, the predictive index, what the predictive index is bringing awareness to us, who we are and who our team members is, and making sure that we know how to communicate with them effectively, as well as making sure that they're in the right position. Yep. I think as an owner, it's going to be, as an owner or like an employer, your goal is, how can I put the aces in the right places?
Yes.
And so if you continue to put the aces in the right places, you're going to grow in your business, and your people are going to be happy, and everybody's just overall morale is going to be amazing.
Exactly. And I think one thing I pull from this is the goal is not to be a seat holder. The goal is to go through, just like you said, put the aces in the right places. And even if that means, okay, well, hey, I'm an ace and I just need to be put in the right place. Right. So I one of the things that I like on extroversion, one thing I'm kind of leaning towards more the let me talk it out and let me talk it out. And so one of those things right there is just knowing that I need to have time. I need to be able to go through and talk it out. I can excel in places where I have to go through and actually speak. And so I think, and then as a leader, you have to realize that. And another thing I took from this is not saying, like, I know you said that, well, hey, you're better in marketing than CEO. I don't think so. I think that this gives us an opportunity to become more self-aware that, okay, yes, my strong point may be the marketing, maybe the social environments, but the areas that I need to grow in is actually more so in the leadership. So now, yes, you're getting the aces in the right place, like getting a really good leader on your team, but also knowing that, okay, well, hey, if I'm to go through and be a better leader, I have to go through and talk it out a little bit. Sometimes. I have to go through and practice my patience. And so the same thing on the opposite side. If I'm
I like that what you just said.
I have to practice my like some CEOs, you all may not be as social. You may not be a great marketer, but you may be a great leader, but you may have to practice on being more sociable. Practice, and I think that's where the awareness comes in at place as well.
I like that. It's allowing me to realize, guess what? Sometimes I need to think things through. I need to be a little bit more slow to speak, but I need to kind of think through a lot of the things. There has been several programs that we have started, as well as people that we have hired that we probably necessarily didn't think these through. If we could have just kind of sat back and say, let's take a day or so and really kind of talk about it at the end and make a decision, we would have probably made a whole different decision. And so that's that person. You dive into that other chart, which was the third one, if you can.
Okay. So when it comes to the third one, is like more of a patience. Sometimes people need variety, and sometimes people need stability. For me, I was kind of leaning towards the variety. Like For me, I think, and that comes from an entrepreneurial space as well. A lot of entrepreneurs, stability is like almost like a 4-letter word. It's like, okay, well, we desire to be stable, but that's not our main purpose. Like our main goal is to go through and get variety, to go through and see what businesses that we can open. Like, how can we grow? How can we develop as well? I think that's one thing that I actually that I saw. I'm like, you know what? I prefer to have when it comes to the variety part, I prefer to have options. I prefer to have, instead of just stability, knowing that, okay, like my wife, for example, she's more of a stability type person. She prefers to have, like, I know this for a fact. I'm like, you know what? I know this, but I know the next step as well can come as well. So that was mine. I'm more of a variety person.
Yeah, I'm an extreme variety person. So just like me, like I love that. It says you want to be free from routine.
Yes.
And so I'm definitely not a routine person. Well, I'm establishing routines, but I'm realizing I'm more so like a go with the wind.
Yeah.
Like if someone says, "Oh, we need to go to Indiana today," or "We need to go to Tennessee," I'm like, okay, well, let's go. Let's see, can we work this project out or whatever. So I'm more of a not a routine person, and that's one thing. Me being aware of that, whenever I'm trying to establish patience on myself, I'm a routine. I realize that, okay, that's not my person. That's not my personality, but I have to work on that in order to develop a routine. Exactly. And that may be a little bit more time consuming, maybe a little bit more being aware and being conscious of, okay, Kayla, you're going to be easily reverted back. So you need to really give your time to develop a routine. And so that's bringing that awareness out.
Man, one of the things as a captain, some of the strengths are they seek to lead and have impact. They are people oriented, they're sociable, and they're able to deal with time pressures and change. But let's go through and talk about some of the traps, because these are some of the common traps that I feel like we probably have fallen into as well. Sometimes it can come off as too authoritative, may appear to be brusque, meaning like blunt. They can appear to be very, very blunt.
Talk to me.
And struggle to adhere to structure or direction. These are some of the common traps. And how to work well with them. This is telling our team how to work well with us. Give them room. Captains want to be flexible in their activities. Captains let captains grow. They want opportunity to learn, advance, and demonstrate responsibility. And challenge them. They act like tackling. They like tackling tough problems. And I think that's one thing I can see within you as well, because I think a lot of times, especially as we expand and open up departments, that's something that I see that's one of your strengths, is you're able to go out there and say, okay, well, hey, if we're looking at another state, hey, I give it to me. I'll put it on my back to go through and actually get it started. On the long part of managing, that may be a whole nother conversation, but the jump start of getting through the brick wall, that's something I think you really thrive in, is busting through the brick wall to let people come in.
And just imagine if that was my full-time job, like just kind of doing that ongoing. If that means like, well, we're going to work on here, we're going to work on this state, we're going to work on this state, whatever is, or work on this new department or this program, like that would be something fulfilling to me, because it will provide peace for whoever I work for, the CEO or whatever for the company, because this person knows that Caleb's personality is he's going to get it done, and he's going to make it done. He's going to at least start it, and so we can kind of get the systems and stuff. And so that's right. It's teaching us how to work with people, how to work with a team. And one thing, being in Dallas Fairs, I saw so much team effort.
Oh my goodness.
I saw so much unity. I saw so much togetherness. I saw one vision and one team.
Wow.
And that's what I saw.
Let's stay right there, because I think the things that we don't want to change is like, I feel like the unification that we have, and I feel like, just like you said, it was one vision, one team, and everyone spoke the same thing. I mean, I was so impressed with the team down in Dallas. I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone knew where they were going.
Right.
And so that's one thing that it made it even more personal for me to go through and say, you know what? For us to grow as an organization, we all have to be on the same step. Right. We all have to be on the same beat. And that's one thing I took away from it. Like, you know what? Hey, that's something I'm going to bring it to our organization. Exactly. Like, we're already good, but we went from good to great as well.
Exactly. And so what we did was we did this survey, the the predictive index. We did the predictive index with all of our whole team, and so we have all of their scores and their reports, and so that's one thing we're going to probably end up taking. We probably need to take over the weekend and just kind of review different communication styles on how we need to communicate with our team members, and in order for them to excel and become better.
And one thing, Caleb, what we're going to do is, because we're not trying to go through and change them, we're trying to go through and see exactly how they what's their natural, what's their natural habitat, how do they learn, how do they work, how do they to go through and make sure, just like you said, put the aces in the right places.
And it's going to be a challenge for us because we're going to have to learn them, and we're going to learn who they are. And by learning who they are, it's going to be a challenge for us because we're going to have to put on many hats as CEOs and as owners. We're going to have to say, let's make sure we put this hat on, or let me make sure I'm a little bit not authoritative on here, or let me do this. And it's just, it's fine tuning and critiquing your communication skills.
Because, and one thing we're going to do is we're going to go through, before we actually give the results to our team, we're going to go through and take a few months just to go through and make sure that we're communicating effectively so that we get a chance to know our team even more, and to be able to go through and actually put what we're learning into practice as well. Because I think that's one thing that as leaders of organization, a lot of times we go through and take these personality tests, or we go through these courses, but we never go through and put things into practice. So the things that one thing that we're not going to change is the people around us.
Right.
We're going to go through and make sure that we are shifting our skill sets up so that we can go through and adjust to where they are, and bring them, not change them. We're going to go through and bring them to an understanding of where we're going as an organization as well.
Exactly. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So there you have it. This is a great episode. There's other personalities that we didn't really kind of go over. Maybe you can kind of go over a few.
Yeah, let's go over a few right quick.
Because we know that we both were captains. I think they had a collaborator. Let's see what that.
I think it's 17 different personalities. 17 different personalities in the predictive index. So you have your adapter. You have your adapter.
Right.
You have your altruist. You have your analyzer. You have your captain. You have your collaborator. You have your controller. You have your craftsman, guardian, your individualist, your maverick, your operator. That's definitely, we'll talk about that a little later. Your persuader, your promoter, your scholar, your specialist, your strategist, and your venturer.
Wow.
So these are, just like I said, these are great personality. Each personality has its pros as well. So one thing we like to go through and look at on the positive side, not saying, and this is not to say that a collaborator cannot run a company.
Right.
It's not to say that a controller cannot be a marketer, and nothing like that. So this is just more of a self-aware of how you run as a person, and then how you can operate in a team environment as well. So we're excited about getting this information out to our team. If you're interested, definitely go to just Google predictive index, and then just go through and actually take a test to see who you are and how you operate. And then, just like I said, it'd be interesting to go through and actually see if your team, so you can find out who's on your team as well.
Yeah, just be mindful. You are who you are.
Yep.
Okay. So ain't no changing to that.
Exactly.
But you are who you are, and I want you to realize that this just be aware of your extremes.
Yep.
Be aware of your strong points and your weak points, and just make sure that even though you have some strong areas, those strong areas can be positive, and they can have a negative connotation with it as well. And so just to be mindful of that, you want to make sure that you're aware of it. You want to always lean toward the positive instead of the negative. So with your behaviors, with your actions, and how you speak to people.
And I'm going to jump it up before we close it, because I think one of my extremes is being independent. And I think that's one of my extremes, and it can be a positive and it can be a negative, because being too independent can go through and allow you to drive yourself insane, because what you're trying to do is open up all the doors and close them yourself as well. And I think that's one thing that I saw through this personality test was, okay, the extremes that I have. And now I'm trying to go through and see how can I go through and actually kind of not change my independence, but not be as extreme in nature without including people around as well. So this is so amazing. And again, I just encourage you all to, again, take that step. Go through, again, don't go through and try to change people. Don't go through trying to change people. Go through and just make yourself better.
I like that. Well, there you have it. Another great episode of Conversation with the Homecare Guyz. I want you to remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you can. Definitely follow us on Spotify as well as Apple podcast. Okay.
Yep. And all right. And okay, and every Tuesday and Thursday, we have new episodes actually coming out. And remember, the Home Care Guys, we're here to go through and motivate you. We're here to go through and actually give you an entrepreneur insight from behind the scenes. And also definitely going to be talking about healthcare, because that's what we're in right there as well. Exactly. So we'll see you next time. All right.
Stay safe.